Alright, I know most of the time the keyboards I feature here are geared towards the custom mechanical keyboard enthusiasts, but for today's video, let's make it a little bit different as we take a look at a dedicated gaming keyboard in the form of the HyperX Alloy Origin 60. A mechanical keyboard that is built like a tank and has everything you could imagine from a gaming keyboard with fancy RGB lighting, gaming shortcuts, and faster mechanical switches. Not everyone wants to tinker with their keyboards, so it's nice to have some options. But is the HyperX Alloy Origins good enough to be considered? Let's find out. So let's get into it. In terms of the packaging, we have an image preview of the product in front and some of its key features. Around the box, we just have some branding, and then at the back, we have more image previews and key features written in different languages. Upon opening the box, you'll see the HyperX Alloy Origin 60 keyboard itself, protected by plastic. And underneath it, we have a few more items, and hidden on this side is the paperwork. So we have the customer support card, the quick start guide, also written in different languages, a braided USB Type-A to Type-C cable, and an extra space bar with a cool looking abstract design, albeit quite thin and lightweight with a thickness of just around 1.1 to 1.2 millimeters. We also have an extra HyperX Escape keycap that also features what looks like a UV type printing compared to the double shot PBT material on the main set of keycaps. As you can see, it is quite thin at just around 0.8 millimeters. And finally, we have the HyperX Alloy Origin 60 itself. Now, the first thing that strikes me the most is the sheer weight of this petite little keyboard. It weighs roughly around 747.8 grams, which is heavy enough, especially for a 60% keyboard. Obviously, it won't flex at all since the chassis is made mostly out of aluminum. The plate is integrated with the chassis and features a floating keys design. In terms of the layout, it features a standard ANSI layout with 61 keys. The fonts look like the typical OEM typeface with printed sub-legends for the secondary layer. The main legends are double shot material, but the side legends are just printed. Not an issue at all, as you'll barely touch the sides of the keycaps anyways. Now, flipping it on the front side, as you can tell, the chassis is relatively thin and again features the high profile form factor. This means half of the switches are visible. The keycaps use the OEM profile, and the bottom case features a slanted stand for a possible more ergonomic form factor. At the back side, we have the USB Type-C port here, and then flipping it all over at the bottom, we have 4 rubber feet, 2 flip-out stands with an integrated shorter stand for more height adjustments, and they both have rubber tips as well. We also have a HyperX logo here and some technical details and certifications. Now, using my new method for testing the material of a keyboard, well, basically just using a magnet, I was able to verify that the chassis is made out of aluminum and not steel, so in theory, this should not have the same issue of previous HyperX Alloy keyboards that had some rusting issues. Overall, the HyperX Alloy Origin 60 looks like any typical gaming keyboard with aggressive gamery aesthetics while maintaining a relatively minimal footprint. In terms of the keycaps, the default keycaps installed are made out of durable PBT plastic with double shot material for the legends. This means the legends will never fade away and the keycaps themselves will not shine easily over time compared to ABS plastic. However, as I've pointed out earlier, the extra 2 HyperX keycaps are just single shot UV coated keycaps with laser etched legend. The stock keycaps are still relatively thin though, around 1 to 1.2 millimeters, which actually affects the overall sound signature. As for the switches, HyperX uses their own linear red HyperX mechanical switches with shorter travel distance and low actuation force. Honestly, it is pretty similar to Cherry MX Red with just a tad bit shorter actuation distance of 1.8mm and shorter total travel distance of around 3.8mm, same actuation force of 45 grams. The problem here in terms of further customization is that instead of surface-mounted LEDs, they chose to use top-mounted LEDs for a more vibrant RGB illumination. This means if you're interested to lube or change switches, you'll have to desolder both the LED and the switch, which obviously is a pain in the butt. It comes with 2 years warranty though, so you're safe at least for that period. The stabilizers are not that great, to be honest with you. It doesn't seem to have any lubricant, and if there's any, it's definitely not substantial enough. They are quite rattly, and to be fair, I wasn't really expecting much given that most gaming keyboards don't really pay attention to this kind of detail. They are more about the aesthetic side of things in gaming features and performance rather than sound and feel. Overall, this keyboard sounds clacky with rattling stabilizers for days. Here's a quick sound test. On the other hand, where this keyboard shines the most is when it comes to the aesthetics. They got it on point with vibrant RGB lighting, thanks to the top-mounted LEDs, and with the addition of the cool-looking spacebar with abstract shine-through design, this is definitely stunning to say the least. It even has additional surface-mounted LEDs underneath the spacebar to make the illumination smoother and more balanced. Here's how it looks with minimal lighting conditions around the environment, and as you can tell, the RGB lighting is really popping out, especially with the floating keys design. Now on the second layer, we have different gaming profiles on the keys J, K, and L that you can save to the onboard memory. We also have the multimedia shortcuts here, the dedicated gaming shortcut on the I key, which disables the Windows key and some other functions that you can set up via the software, and we also have the brightness level adjustment on the keys G and H, and the nav cluster keys here near the enter key. Now, the thing that you have to consider when it comes to this small form factor 60% keyboard is the layer implementation. The good thing here is that the function key is located at the lower right corner, allowing you to toggle the second layer using your pinky finger. It is still an additional step before you can toggle frequently used keys like the arrow keys, but at least the position of the FN key makes it a bit natural. Alright, so let's check out the HyperX and Genuity software real quick and see what we have in terms of further customization. Inside the software, under the light keys, we can customize the lighting effects either per key or multi-select as you can see here. It is very intuitive and easy to use, and we have this sort of layer where you can add multiple effects into your custom lighting mode. You can change the colors, speed of the animation, and opacity, or essentially the brightness of the illumination. Pretty much the basic stuff. Under the keys tab, we have two layers, the base layer and the FN layer or the second layer. On the base layer, you can customize the function of each key to a different one, like mouse function, multimedia shortcuts, and macro recordings. You get the idea. You can even set a regular key to a function key, which is quite handy. For example, you can change the caps lock to the FN key, allowing you to have two FN keys, one on each side of the keyboard. You can also customize the secondary FN layer, especially the keys that don't have any functions yet. We also have the global brightness settings here, the game mode customization, and the presets. Overall, it is very intuitive and useful software. Finally, in terms of performance, the HyperX Alloy Origin 60 features a perfectly working NKRO, which means you can press as many keys as you want at the same time without conflicts. This is good for both gaming and fast typing. And when it comes to gaming, I personally believe that 60 to 75% form factor is the ideal size for a gaming keyboard, giving you more real estate for your mouse to move around. Performance-wise, you don't have to worry about it, since all you need is a keyboard with quick actuating and chatter-free switches, anti-ghosting for some games, and wired mode for the least input lag possible, all of which you can find on the HyperX Alloy Origin 60. Now, the question remains, is this something you should consider? Well, it depends. If you're a mechanical keyboard enthusiast like myself, then there are a lot of DIY and custom mechanical keyboards that you can tailor with your personal preference while still being completely capable of gaming. But if you don't care about all that customization, sound and feel kind of stuff, and you just want a fancy gaming keyboard that is built like a tank with reliable features for gaming, then the HyperX Alloy Origin 60 is a good consideration. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching, and huge thanks to HyperX for sending this in. You can get this using the link below. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you like this, and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.